What's up, everybody? Mad Dog Madden's here. Got a good show for you this week. Playoffs right around the corner, going into week 8. We're going to go over two teams that already locked up division wins. We're going to take a quick look at the power rankings and talk about teams that still fighting to either get position or just get a spot. Today with me, I got Philly's MVP, as always. What's going on, Philly?
What's going on?
Not much, man. Having a good day?
Absolutely.
All right, that's what I like to hear. And special guest this week, we got Pasta in my nose. What's going on, Pasta?
Hi.
What's going on, man? I know you're on that Heat team. You guys looking to still get a way in there, man. How you feeling about that heading into week 8 so far? Good. What's up?
Gotta work hard. Try to play as a team and stay focused, be positive. And I mean, hoping Stars don't get a good week.
Yeah, I hear you, man. All right, we'll go into that more later on, man. But good to know you're thinking about it, man. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna go over the power rankings first this week instead of the standings. Just take a quick look. Thank God released it on time for once. We'll head into that. All right. So for the who's hot and forwards this week, you got I'm Just a Squid from Barracuda, Complex Nades from the Gulls, and Fur-A-Day. I don't know how to say that guy's whole name. I'm just gonna call him Fur. They're getting the medals this week. Congratulations, guys. Other guys on the list, honorable mentions: Rob 95, Americans, Max 20, Gulls. Single G6, Barracuda, Gooding 12 from the Americans, Axe Stoner Boy getting in there, Hall from the Gulls, Straight Up Packs, Texas, Sunshine from Bridgeport, Maker Shockey from the Bruins, MLN 83, Thunderbirds, two Thunderbirds back to back. All the walls got it. You got Philly's great 08. No, Philly, a lot of people are rocking the Philly name, man. You guys have a lot of pride over there. I see this.
Yeah, we're like those QC motherfuckers.
Yeah, there you go. So, and then rounding out the list, you got Diecast from Lehigh Valley. 3 players from the Wild: Kyle, Matrix, and GG Joey. And last but not least, you got Cinerot, Checkers. Pretty solid list. Not surprised to see Squid and Fur-A-Day's up there. I don't know much about this Complex Nades guy, but he's playing for a hot goals team right now, so I'm not surprised to see these gold players at the top of the list. Anything you guys got to say about it, Philly? About this who's hot forward list this week?
Nah, not today.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much self-explanatory, man. I mean, can't lie. We'll just go straight into defense 'cause I want to start talking about playoffs anyway. All right, you got who's hot on defense. 3 guys getting a medal. You got Big Mummy JX, IX, something like that. And then Blur, XBL, both from Tucson. That's surprising. They must have been a pair because they're righty lefty. Hit by the best, good player. The goals. D08, 708 from Checkers. Singasm, Tenor, both crunch players, probably not sober from the Bruins. JWVA from the Americans. Gulls, Soul Too Cold. Austin from the Monsters. Willard McNasty, Wild. Hart from? I don't know how to say that name. But he's from the Monsters. You got Loki, Sean the Boss, Dad's Devil, QMC Seb, Patriots, Capaxis, Agent PC, and 925er from the Griffins. I gotta say, man, I'm surprised to see a lot of players from the Americans making it on the list this week. And last but not least, the goalies. You got Trash Clown going 6-0 for the goals. 66 saves, 1.5 GAA, 88% save percentage. That's pretty nice. Slatter from the Crunch, 3-0. Just under a goal against average. SW Bobcats, 3-0, 37 saves, 1 goal against average, 92.5% save percentage. one shutout. And you got my boy Moose. He's in the top and not getting a medal, going 5-1, 67 saves. You have Primetime Fresh, Painter from Texas, Westside Hockey from the Rain, Headhunter 9872 from Sound Tigers, and the Crunch got DC Lumpy and It's a Watermelon pulling up number 10 on the Who's Hot goalie list this week. I gotta say, I've read this list a couple times when they have it out in time for the show, and I like seeing how like it's not just always like the same team guys up here, man. Like every week there's some pleasant surprises. Uh, Pasta, I know you were MVP last season, and you know, you're still doing pretty good. How many times have you made this list so far this season?
Uh, this season only once, and last season twice. But the thing with this is just like you can be on fire for a week, but being consistent and not necessarily being like a top player every single week, but just being consistent.
Mm-hmm.
That's what gets you there. So that like that's why I'm not really surprised to see different players every week. Like everybody can have a good week. It all depends to like how they're feeling the night they play and the chemistry and who they're facing. So
Right. I hear you, man. It's funny this list sometimes, man. It seems like you almost have to have that perfect week because there's guys that come in like when they're at the
yeah.
top, they have the perfect week. Want to be on the list, you gotta have that. I just want to throw a special shout out to my boy. I was reading through the list here. Top thugs so far on the season. And as you can see, my boy Kitty Kane pulling in right there. Big 72 Pims out there doing big things, playing dirty. Gotta love it. I know he's a teammate of yours, Pasta. So,
Yeah.
you have you played with him this season?
Not really. We're on different lines, and he wanted to change to right wing this season. So unfortunately, it's
Right,
the same position as me. So there's no way we can play together.
right. Yeah, I can see the conflict of interest. All right. Well, after that's all rounded out, man. Just wanted to start off with our playoff segment here and just go over two teams already that have locked up division titles. And if you've read the standings lately, you probably already know who I'm talking about, but that would be the Hershey Bears, as you can see, pulling in first place for their division. Now you got some people locked up in the north, but they're still close. Anyone could take this, and no one's got it locked up. It's between the Marlies, Crunch, and the Senators. I don't see the comments really pulling out. And then the Monsters, first place West Central, they got their division unlocked too. Um, First, I want to start off with this Monsters team. Division winners, like you could have seen it weeks ago. There's no surprise that these guys won the division. They played hot all season, did what they need to do, teams they need to beat, and then some. Uh, I know. I don't even know if the Hershey beat them this season. I'm not entirely sure on that. But just looking through the roster, it's, it's a nice roster, man. You really can't poke any obvious holes in here. You got Big Freeze and Siege teaming up on the management again. Durham's 18. He joined in on a trade. It looks like they made him a captain. Adam, Austin, Betacelli, Dangles, Dre, for days. We just saw him getting a medal on the week list there. Gauchi the Beast, Gumba, Maximus, Philly's Great, Shirk, Squall, Bobcats, T-Ball, Troy. I mean, all decent players. I wouldn't kick any of these guys off my roster if I had them. Uh, what do you think so far about this Monsters team, Philly? Do you think they're the real deal? Do you think they're the standalone lock for heading straight into the finals, or do you think they're going to be a different team in the playoffs? But what's your insight on this Monsters team?
Well, after last year, this team proved that when you start the playoffs, everybody's record 0-0-0. So what they did in the regular season don't really matter. I mean, they're gonna have to they're gonna have to work hard to get into the finals if that's what they want to do. Nobody's a sure lock to make it to the finals. Not one team that's going to make the playoffs is a sure lock. Do they have a good team? Yeah, they do. They got a great team. They got great goaltending. They got good defense. They got great offense. But let's see what happens when they play the number one lines and the number two lines, and they have to actually sit there and try to get their number one line to play against somebody else's team. And I would like to see what happens because last year it didn't work out so well for them, and they were just as good as last year as they are this year.
Right. Well, you can make a case for last season being a what the hell moment, but I feel like he made just the right amount of trades this season and didn't have a complete overhaul. But Pasta, what about you, man? What do you think about this Monsters? How do you like their chances right now?
I think they're the real deal. Um, I think they're on a road to redemption too,
All right.
and they didn't do they didn't go as crazy as they did on trade deadline last season. So the chemistry is still here. And if you can if you can notice at the end of the season, they weren't doing so well after those trades, even before getting into playoffs. But right now they're still doing great. So I don't know, man. It's not the same story. And yes, when the playoff starts, of course your record is back to 0-0, but they'll they'll go far this season, in my opinion.
Yeah, I have to agree. As you guys were talking, I was just looking through their schedule, who they played, and how much they beat them by. And man, they haven't taken too many tough losses. I'll tell you that. No, no real blowouts. The only blowouts really halftime have been them blowing the other team out. I have to say, just the record alone and how they played all season, to me, makes them kind of my favorite in that division to the Western Finals or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, next team, Hershey Bears, division winner. I got to say, I'm pretty happy about it. Obviously, I'm the AGM for this team, as you can see right here. I guess a captain, according to what I'm looking at. But yeah, we also have some good players on our team. Everyone knows, I guess, our division's a little bit weaker. All the rest of our opponents have about. I blame them and not us, you know. Anyways, we got Jack. He's playing the All Star game. We'll get to Wada. Probably our top right D man so far this season. Say enough about him as you 35. I love any demon who can stay high on the plus minus. Sure. Got D Mitch. Can't say enough about that guy. He's played left and right D for us. Fetcher came down to us out of the NHL. He was a mid-season acquisition. Rendo has played some solid left D for us all season. Berger, he joined us at the end of the season, but played some very solid puck. Helped us out in some real tight games. Adi, he's played a little bit in the beginning, and he came out here in the end for us. We had to ban a guy. I don't know, he said he didn't want to play anymore. So Adi got his spot. And then you got the other backup goalie, and Jay Doulis, straight guy. Johnny Bearballs, he just got on the team after Chowski was he's playing his part. Moosepotamus, 33. Can't say enough about Moose. Great goalie. Great guy. Love playing for that guy. Definite goat in the net right there. You got Nismo. He's having a decent season. 63 points, left wing. Plus size pounder, as everyone else knows him as Haji. Playing lefty for us. He's doing a good job. You got Puck Zone. He actually, interesting story with Puck Zone. His PlayStation is broken, and we're actually waiting for him to get it back, if that even happens. He hasn't even been. This couple of weeks we've been using PCs for him. few weeks, which if we get him back would be a huge acquisition because Puck Zone is a very solid player, good goal scorer. You got Trevor. We picked him up at the end of the season, and Sniper. He's been with us. He's been on and off, called up, called down a few times, but still playing good puck, being a tough sport about it. I got to say, I love this Hershey team. As I mentioned before, I never made it far in the playoffs, but with this team, I feel like we have a definite shot to do that. I know people say we're coming out of a weak division, and some of our divisional teams have beaten us, but I don't really think that means nothing. Kind of like what you guys were just saying earlier. Like now you got to match up with us. You can't just bring one game a week and then throw your top line or one of your better lines at us. Now after you play your better line, who do you got behind you? That's what I'm thinking. But anyways, enough on that. Pasta, what do you think about this Bears team, man? What do you think their chances are out of the Eastern Conference, man?
Well, first of all, last season, the very same team proved that no matter if your division is weak or not, you can make it far. So that just proves it right there. That is like the your division is just irrelevant. It's just what you show once you come in playoffs. But at the same time, I don't really know the team that much, so I can't really say. I don't know the players. I know Moose can save like a couple of games, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
No question about that. I felt that when I played against him in the finals. Incredible goaltender, and he pretty much reads any player you're gonna give to him. And I know Madden's. I mean, Madden's is a good player. And I know Chowski. I might have forgot a couple players here and there, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I know. It would be really good for you guys to have Bug Zone back, though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Let's hope things goes good for him.
Yeah, I've been having my fingers crossed for a while on that one. What about you, Philly? What do you think about Hershey and their chances to go to the finals?
They got a good team. I mean, these guys have a really solid team. It's just you got to put it together, go into the playoffs, try your hardest, play like you did last year. I mean, not many people had you go into the finals, to be honest. They kept saying your division was weak, just like they're saying this year. And you proved everybody wrong. You ran through everybody. I mean, so these guys have a really good chance of going into the playoffs, just like last year. Or not into the playoffs, but to the finals, to do the East. I think that this match up good against our division, so that should be a fun finals when that happens. So we just gotta wait and see how this all plays out.
Yeah, I agree, man. Playoffs a whole new animal. Can't wait to get out there and play these games. To be honest, man, I've been waiting since last season. That one really sucked. That sucked. I was watching everyone else have fun, and I was like, "Yep." And I don't even own golf clubs, so. All right. So now that we went over some of the divisional winners, let's talk about some of the less fortunate guys real quick before we head into the rest of the guys fighting for a spot here. Let's talk about the people who are eliminated. Longer reach. So, yeah, just in case you know, Wilkes-Barre Scranton, which I know they just recently got the eliminated title, but they've been eliminated for quite some time. Albany Devils, St. John's Ice Caps, both teams done. It is what it is, Then you got the Rockford Ice Hogs and Milwaukee Admirals. They're done. Chicago Wolves barely hanging on, but I would almost say they're done because they need a miracle. They would have to win out and hope that Checkers and the Griffins have terrible weeks. Then in the Western Pacific, the Condors and the Hey, sometimes when you start the season, everyone's got high hopes, right? And then sometimes stuff just goes bad and you end up on the bottom. I know I was on the TC list for a season one Marley team that Pasta was also on, and I remember that team did not go so hot. Wouldn't you say so, Pasta?
Uh, I think it was just like a management killing his own team because we had so many good players on that team before the trade deadline. I mean, we had players like JLM. We had Taves 19, who was with the Wild last season. Uh, they had me. They had Tanger, which is like an NHLer right now. They had Maxwell Murder, which is a Knicks Bucks guy that was playing NHL um, in LGPSN side. So I don't know how he can not do something great with a team like that. Honestly,
Right.
I just can't. It just doesn't compute
I think
for
anytime you
me.
end up at the bottom of the standings like that, things just don't add up. Like, you can never make sense of it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just you try to think back and you're like, no, no, nothing we could do. It's just how it went. Anyways, all right. So enough on those guys. Rip. Good having y'all here. Hopefully, you guys can play spoilers to some of these other teams we're about to talk about. So, let's go over the Eastern Atlantic, man. Kind of after Hershey, kind of a tight race. Still got four teams respectively fighting for a playoff spot. A couple are trying to hold on the position, but they're all so close in points. There's real no clear way winner at this point. You got Hartford at 75, Thunderbirds at 70, Lehigh was 69, and the Sound Tigers was 68. I don't know about you guys, but this division's so it's been like this all season. These teams underneath the Bears have been jumping up and down. You can't even. It's hard to predict where they're going to end up. What do you think on these teams, Philly? Like, I mean, any of them stand out to you? Do you have any runaway favorites? I mean, yo, Philly, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Oh. Taking
I
a
had it on
snooze?
mute. But
Oh, okay.
no, really, I don't have any run besides you. The Hershey Bears. There really is no runaway favorites in this division. It's been like this all year. I mean, you can have a losing record and make the playoffs in this division. It's insane. Um, like the Thunderbirds at 33-35 and they're in third place. Like, it's crazy. It's insane. But there really is no runaway besides the Hershey Bears. But it will be good hockey watching them fight for that spot. I mean, it could change about 4 times this week.
Yeah, especially this week because I believe everyone's got their own division this week, except for a couple games, and so a couple of these guys will be able to throw some major point swings. What about you, Pasa? What do you think? You got any favorites in between the Wolfpack, Thunderbirds, and Phantoms and the Tigers, or you think it's all who knows?
Honestly, I agree with Philly. I can't really say anything about it. Um, the only thing I can say about these guys is I'm really jealous because it wouldn't be a problem for Stockton in this division. They wouldn't make the playoffs. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I can't really predict anything. It's just too crazy.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to get you guys to go a little out of your comfort zone here. Out of the four teams that I listed, the Wolfpack, Thunderbirds, the Phantoms, and the Tigers, which one's not getting it? I'll start with you, Philly. But which one's not getting
The Bridgeport Sound Tigers.
Sound Tigers? What about you,
Reason,
Pasta? Oh, go ahead. You have something to say?
the reason I say that is they just had 2 people get banned. They look like they're falling apart from the inside out.
Hmm.
Um, that's why I'm picking them.
Okay, well that's some good information. I did not know that. It might sway my decision here. All right, go ahead, Pasta. Who do you think's the odd man out in this situation?
I think Springfield is not going to make it because shout out to my boy Kepler.
Okay. All right. Pasta's got Springfield possibly not making it. Um, I said that Bridgeport was my team before, and I still kind of feel like they're the team now. But I feel like they do good in the division. So, but I'm gonna still stick with the Sound Tigers. I don't feel like they're a strong enough team to get up in there. That being said, we will move on to the Eastern North. So, perfect. Now here is an interesting situation, man. You still have three teams fighting for the number one spot, and it looks like Marlies have been unseeded again for the moment. Got the Crunch sitting at 100, Marlies 99, Senators 94, Utica Comets 85, and Rochester with 71, living on hopes and prayers over there. Um, this is also like a tough division. It's kind of like the last one, only they're better teams and they're fighting for the number one spot. you know, like Philly. What happened to you guys last week, man? Y'all did not have a good week last week.
No, I mean you're not going to have a good week every single week. You know, it's a tough division. It's a tough league. I mean, when you're like a number one team, like Pasta could see it from last year. You could say it from this year. You get number one line, so you could play the St. John Ice Caps. You're not going to get their third line playing against you. You're going to have their best of the best playing against you every night. So you have to like with the summer league too. You have ECUs and you have to juggle around lines, and you're trying to get lines at the last minute. So every day it's just like a struggle to try to even get your team together, let alone to play. And you're playing the best of the best every single game. So I mean, you're gonna have a struggling week like we did. Doesn't mean that we're not better than anybody, or it's not that we're less better than anybody either. But it's just it is what it is. I mean, right now it's just I have a feeling that this with the way that you see the standings right now in the Northern, it's going to change. It's not going to stay this way.
Yeah,
And we
I
play each
believe
other
that.
this week, so it's
That's
going to be
true.
fun.
It's true. Yeah, basically, if you want the title in the Eastern North, you better bring your A game this week. You got to earn it. It's not. It's not going to come easy. Um, Judging out of these three teams, I guess we'll include the Senators because they're not too far behind, but probably the least likely to take the number one spot. Pasta, which team do you think is going to walk away with the Eastern North title? The Marlies or the Crunch?
I'm gonna choose the Crunch, um, because they probably got like the best forward line in the league right now, and they just like on the deadline they got their hands on tenor. So, I mean, I just see this team being able to face any number one line if we're talking about their second, first, or even third line. So I'm gonna take the Crunch, and but I mean the Marlies are gonna be close, and there's no way the Senators are getting the second spot.
Yeah, there's probably no way that's going to happen. But speaking just from the points, they're theoretically in it, But anyways, I'll make my prediction on this. You know, I actually believe the Crunch hit a little bit of a hot streak. I played the Crunch a few times. I thought they were a good team. I think they're a great team. Yeah, I guess they'd have to show more to me. But I still think the Marlies are the better team in this division. And I think they'll come away with the first place standing by the end of the week. What about you, Philly? Do we even need to ask you what team we think is gonna first place?
It to me, I mean, it's the last week. I'm hoping we can get the first spot. I think we match up better against Utica than Binghamton. Um, but I don't care. I'll play anybody they put in front of me. So if it stays the way it is, I'll see Binghamton in the first round, and let's get the redemption from last year. They knocked us out of the playoffs last year, so I kind of want to have Binghamton in the first round, to be honest.
Okay, well there you go. All right. I don't foresee any upsets coming here from the Americans. I'm pretty sure these four teams are the ones that are going. Any of you
You could
guys?
put
Yeah, any of you
you could
guys
put
think
on all
Americans are
three
doing
of
it?
those teams.
What's that?
I said you could put a three. You could put an E on all three of those teams.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's pretty far out of reach. All right, let's move on down to the Western Central, home of the Monsters. All right, behind the Monsters, who we already know locked up, got the Wild, the Moose. Wild sitting at 99, the Moose sitting at 96. Looks like Iowa took their second place spot back. Grand Rapids Griffins still sitting in fourth. I have to say, man, this division has probably been the most steady all season. Just like the top four teams. I've never seen nothing like that. The only ones that have switched are the Moose and the Wild for 1 week. Other than that, it's been what I'm looking at right now the whole time. Which is crazy. Anyways, the Wild, the Moose, the Griffins got Checkers just on the outside, 81 points, 4 points back. Chicago Wolves theoretically can get in, but they need a lot of magic to happen. Like I said earlier, they need a huge win streak. Help that they probably won't get. That win streak will be tough. They got to play all those teams in their own divisions. I don't really foresee much happening here besides Checkers slightly having a chance. I guess I'll just chop it up to you, Pasta. Do you think the Checkers are going to overtake the Griffins in this last week?
I don't think so. Like 4 points is a long run, to be honest. Um, I know it's not a lot of points, but it's just like I don't know. It's a tough one. I would say, especially the Griffins are quite a good team. And that would mean quite the long win streak, and they're like on a bad streak right now. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, it seems like both teams are kind of getting beat up a little bit right now. I don't think the Checkers are that much better where they're about you, Phil. Checkers pull the upset off.
No, no.
No.
I'm not saying that it can't happen, but I don't see it happening. I mean, 4 points playing your own division. It's kind of just like the Wolves getting in. You're gonna need a lot of help. You're gonna need to go on a win streak. You're gonna need good teams to lose. You're gonna have to win all your games. It's tough. It's tough to do.
Yeah, tough position to be. Not one I prefer to be in. All right, and then moving on to the Western Pacific. Another place still up for got San Jose Barracuda, 99 points, right on their tails. And I'm talking so close they're sniffing farts. Ontario Reign, 4 win streak, 98 points, right behind them. Goals on a 13-game win streak with 93 points, jumping up. But they were struggling to keep that fifth spot. Now they're all the way in third. You got Texas Stars sitting at 85, finishing on a 2 win streak. The Heat right behind them, 3 points down, looking outside, looking in. Looking at the Stars, 3 points down. You got the Roadrunners at 70. I'm just gonna call them eliminated. They no way in hell they fucking get in there. Pasta, I guess I'll start off with you, man. This is your division. You probably have the best insight. I will say, my first show, I highlighted the Gulls and said I thought they were going to make a run. Didn't know it was going to be this good of a run. But what do you think about this Gulls team and just this division in general, Pasta?
I think it's unfortunate for us that the Gulls are such a fire team right now. But I watched the game on Thursday, and they are exactly where they deserve to be. So I mean, they're not gonna take the. I don't think they're gonna take the second spot. If they do, I'll be surprised. Um, so basically, the only chance is for Stockton to beat the Stars. Um, of course, as a player of Stockton, I hope with all my heart that we'll make it, but it's a long shot. We got a tough schedule. So, I mean, it can happen. Of course, it can happen, but we'll have to work hard for it.
Right, right.
And So that's basically my thoughts on this division. And of course, like the Kudas, I think they're gonna stay first. I mean, they got a really good team. My boy Ducks fan Waterloo is the GM. I'm really happy for what he's done. I'm glad for him, and getting Squid into bidding, like having all this extra money was a really good move from him. And I mean, he got his team where he deserves it to be.
All right. All right. Well, what about you, Philly? What are you thinking about this Western Pacific right now?
I think this is the best division in AHL, to be honest with you. And I gotta give a shout out to the goals. You're on a 13-game win streak. You're not in a shout box like some other team that was on a 13-game win streak, bragging about it. You're doing it secretly, and congratulations to you, because what some other team did earlier this year was obnoxious, and they kind of disappeared out of the shout box since then too. But
You know what they do though, Philly?
what's that?
They try to get forfeits from other teams,
Yeah,
even though they're having success. I just wanna get this in quick.
that I did not know about that one. But,
Better be on time when you're playing the goals. Apparently, Pasta's saying.
and then to also, I love the Stars. I love a lot of players on there like JG and Painter, great guys. Stockton Heat, they got a lot of work to do. I told you 2 weeks ago I think they were going to jump and get into the playoffs. They're still there. I still think that they have the talent to do it. They just need to work hard this week and make my prediction right that I gave you 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I have to agree, man. I also too said I thought they fit in and the Stars would fall out. But that's really tough to tell at this point, man, because all the teams are kind of heating up. Like you said, big shout out to San Diego. Talk about getting hot right before the playoffs. This is what every coach and GM wishes his team would heat up like going into the playoffs. I want to come in on a massive win streak, guns blazing, full confidence. That's the way I want to start off a playoff series.
Yeah, exactly. Because after you got all your confidence getting into the playoffs, that's a really good thing happening for the Goals.
Yeah, I would hate to go against them in the first round. Like a team that's on that much fire. I mean, we all saw what they did to my Bears on Thursday. So don't want to get in their way right now. All right, so let's break it down to question time here. Got the Reign and the Barracuda in a close battle. I guess you can include the Goals if you want, but I'm gonna need you guys to pick a team for me. Who you think's coming away with the number one spot in this Western Pacific? I'll start with you, Pasta.
Barracudas.
What about you, Philly?
I got the Cuda too.
He's going with the Cuda. I'm actually still going to go with the Reign. I said it last week. I said it this week. I feel like the Reign, not saying they're greatly better than the Barracuda, but I am saying they're playing better hockey right now than the Barracuda are. And I feel like going into the divisional week here, they're only down 1 point. So really, all they have to do is get more wins than the Barracuda, and they've been doing that the last 2 weeks. Not by much, but enough to catch up and be in the spot they're in now. Last question. Heat. Stars. Who's getting that 4th spot, Philly?
I guess I'm gonna have to go with the Stars just because of the point. But I'm rooting for the Heat to do it.
Okay. That's a very interesting answer.
I mean, if I had to put money on
Yeah.
it, I'm putting money on the Stars,
Okay.
but I'm rooting for the Heat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I just find it interesting. Pasta.
Okay, first of all, you don't need to say hi anymore in the shout box, Philly. Second, I'm choosing the Heat. 3 stacks. I mean, we got experience playing with pressure. I feel we can do it. If we don't do it, I wouldn't be like the most surprised guy ever. But I really believe we can do it.
I went with the Heat earlier. I'm gonna go with the same thing. I think the Stars are gonna get edged out by the Heat right at the end, and I'll definitely be watching to see how it goes down for sure. All right. Well, that about wraps that up. Got our little predictions out of the way. I can't wait for next week when we talk about who's actually going to win the playoff series, man. Can't wait for these playoffs. All right, so Philly, since we got Pasta here, man, why don't you go ahead and open her up? Let's pick Pasta's brain a little bit. Ask him some questions, huh?
All right. So, Pasta, last year you guys won the Calder. You won MVP. What's changed from this year to last year?
um, this last season we had a lot of superstars, like really good superstars. Forward wise, defensive wise, and we had trash clown and flyers in net. I mean, we had everything going our way. And as I said, in the trophy thread, I would never be able to make it without the line that I had last season. Um, Everybody was on same page. Everybody's availability was working well. We could line match. We were the hottest line, and we were able to be against the hottest teams week after week because of our availability, and that really helped. Um, this season, I won't say we're a bad team, but we're not. We don't have like a power lineup as big as we had last season, and it's normal. You can't repeat that. It would be crazy. Um, but I mean, it's really cool to have a challenge still. So you know, that's that's the only difference I see. The rest is just like people are involved. They're trying to play as a team as good as they can, and I mean, we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, you really can't do nothing but try. Really, hopefully
Mhm.
everyone gives you availability. You guys can.
Yeah.
Uh, you have another question for?
Yeah. So, Pasta, last year you won MVP. Do you think that you got enough respect from the league after that, or do you think you already had enough respect before then?
Um, I think I had quite respect before that because a lot of teams wanted me. Like every off season, I had like management offers and like people that were saying, "Would you sign with me if I get you?" and some things like that. Um, of course, now I'm a little bit overhyped, I would say, but I definitely see the difference in the shot box, especially and things like that. But yeah, you definitely there's definitely a difference.
You haven't. Who do you think possibly could win MVP this year?
Mm. I really don't know actually. Maybe Third Day's Buddy. Maybe Lobo Dangles. But I see Third Day's Buddy more because I mean his record is incredible. Um, he's got the points too. The plus minus is there. I haven't had the chance, unfortunately, to see him play. I can't wait for playoffs to see what he does, and I can't wait for the All Star game because he'll be playing on my line. That will be really fun. But yeah, I think that would be him for everybody.
I agree with that.
Sweet. Well, I got a question. Uh, all right, now I know you've been on the Heat. What is your favorite team so far besides Calder?
that I played for.
Yes. Yes.
That would be season 2 Barracudas. I had fun with that team. Overall, it was not such a bad team. I met Ducks fan Waterloo there. Um, so yeah, I really like that. I really like that team.
Well, I'm glad you brought up All Star games. When talking before, wanted to give a little shout out, so a little love to the guys who made the All Star team, and then after that, we'll take a look at who's actually going to be playing in the game. I don't know if you guys have heard yet, but the way they're doing it is out of the final guys that were picked, they're doing it East versus West, and the captains of each respective division. I believe the East is Bobby Swagger and Loops from the West have both picked their 6-team squad, and they will face off, I believe, one time for the actual All Star game. But the people who won the vote will still be getting the award. Is my understanding of it. Any thoughts on how they're doing the All Star game this season, Philly? What do you think about it? Do you agree with the way they're doing it? Do you feel like everyone should play, or do you think one game's enough and just give me my award? I mean, what?
I mean, it's a summer league, so getting together 73 players to play in an all-star game on a Friday night is going to be almost impossible. So I agree with the way that they're doing it. It kind of sucks for the people that did make it, which congratulations everybody who did make it. I do like that they had two captains who are not inside the All Star game pick the teams, so it kind of keeps it fair. They didn't go into the shout box. They didn't go into any votes. It's kind of like the captains of teams that you play against are picking the teams, which I liked about it. Um, to me, it's a game for fun. I had so much fun last year in All Star game, so a lot of these guys are gonna miss that experience, which kind of sucks. But it is what I mean. I guess this is the way that they're doing it this year for the summer league. So hopefully we get back into that little tournament style we had last year.
Right. I was in the All Star game last season, and it was an enjoyable experience. I did like that little tournament format they had, but I agree with the summer season and availability being a huge issue over the season 5 here. I could see why they did it this way. What about you, Pasta? I mean, are you cool with this, or would you rather see the big tournament like last season, or
Um, I think it would have been nice to see like the same format as kind of like what we did on Saturday on a Saturday night puck where like Vezina organized a tournament. I mean it's cool because there's more hockey, there's more people playing it, but at the same time I really like the East versus West thing. Like it's really like two stacked lines. So I mean, I'm excited for that. But yeah, I would have loved to see like a tournament and like a best of three tournament.
right?
That would have been nice. But then again, uh, I don't know if it would have worked with everyone's availability. So
Right, the logistics of it would probably be a nightmare right now. But quick, I'm gonna run down all the people that won the vote uh, real quick. Start off with the Eastern Atlantic. Uh, got Jack Dupe, Madden's 26, and Chowski from the Bears. Sefia 30, Hockey Town, Fist My Face from the Wolf Pack, Nutty Outlaw 13. I know I hate saying that damn name. Nutty Outlaw 13 from the Sound Tigers, Daylight 99 from the Lehigh, Man 060 from Bridgeport, I Pass You Score also from the Phantoms, Obata Hershey Bears, Kepler Thunderbirds, Man Bear Pig from the Wolfpack. You got S4L 636 from the Lehigh Valley, Crazy Native from the Wolfpack, Gaming Rendo from the Bears, Moosopotamus, Tyler Loki, and Headhunter are the goalies. I believe one of them tied. I believe I saw Sid say something about like one of them tied, so that's why there's three goalies for the Eastern Atlantic. So I guess instead of like having a tiebreaker, you just put them both up there. Seems pretty good. What do you guys got to say about this Eastern Atlantic list here?
Nothing. It's a good group. I mean, if I was a GM, I would pick anybody that's on that list.
Right. What about you, Pasta? You got anything to say about these Eastern Atlantic All Stars?
I mean, not really. I think they're good. The only thing I see is that it's just too many. Um, there's some guys here that I like. They're good. They're definitely good players. But a lot of players with the same caliber could have been chosen at that point. So that's
Right.
why I'm saying I see a lot. Like I see too many people on those lists.
Well, let me ask you a follow-up question. What do you believe would be the right number of people per division to be final All Stars?
Mm.
I believe they're doing
Well,
17 right now, 18 in this instance, but do you think the number should be lower than that?
yeah, kind of like I would say half of it.
2 lines. Give us 2 lines.
Two lines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 lines would
So
be
six
sensible.
forwards, four defensemen, and what, one or two
2
goalies?
goalies.
Two goalies?
2 goalies. No?
So
I would say I
that
would
wouldn't be
say
bad
one
because
goalie actually.
then they could possibly run a tournament where it's just two teams.
Yeah.
I can see that working out. I don't know. We'll have to submit this to the
Because the
committee.
thing is, the thing is, I see in this is like, oh great, I got a vote for All Star. I'm getting in the All Star game, and then oh, you have not been chosen in that schedule for the All Star game. So it's like, oh well.
All right. Well, we're
So
gonna move on to
that's
the
how I
Eastern
see it.
North. No, it's cool. It's cool. Sorry to cut you off. I want to get through
No,
this
no.
list, and then we could discuss that more if need be. All right. So Eastern North: Lobo Dangles, Vish, Dangletown Sniper, Dirty Deeds, Apparition, Toffoli, Hazy Eyes. Now, see, I'm confused about this. You got two guys who are like Toffoli. You got X73X Toffoli and like what IXI dash Toffoli. But what is? I don't know what that people your name. Whatever. Zach H1, my boy Philly MVP. What? Hitting the All Star game. Shout out to you, Philly. Filthy 813, Burger, Singasm, Barakov, Robster, Vizina, It's a Watermelon, and I Call So What, all making the Eastern North All Star. I'll start off with you, Philly. What do you say about this Eastern North All Stars here?
It's good. The only thing I got to say about this division is next year when we have an All-Star game, I think if you played 75% of the season inside the AHL, after the deadline you get called up to the NHL, you should still be able to represent your AHL team in an All-Star game. I think
Yeah.
some of these guys got snubbed for being in the six to play next Friday because they're in the NHL, and I think that has to be changed a little bit. So Filthy and Vesna and DTS, congratulations, and sorry that you couldn't make it here.
All right, Pasa, what about you on these Eastern North All Stars?
Um. That's pretty good. That's a lot of good forwards. I mean, this division is really good. I had the chance to play with Vish B for the first time this week. He's an outstanding player. I love my boy Dirty Deeds. Shout out to this guy. Those two Toffoli's. I mean, I tried them both on pickup games on in off season. I didn't know which was which. So I mean, I stopped right there. My boy Philly, shout out my man.
Thanks.
And yeah, I see a lot of I see a lot of Toronto and Syracuse in defense, and Binghamton too. Nothing else from other teams. That's not surprising because they got really good defense. And I mean the forwards are pretty stacked in this division, so I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised these guys are there.
Yeah, all good players. I know a few of them. I played with Hazy Eyes. I played with Town. I believe I played with Lobo like a while ago, back when I used to hang out with Jammin.
There's one thing though. I'm actually really surprised that Nazi isn't here.
Oh, not
Unless
Nazi Two
he didn't
Face.
name him.
Nazi
Yeah.
wasn't even in the All-Star vote.
Yeah, I don't think he was
Okay.
available to be
Okay.
voted on, sir. But yeah, I have to
Okay.
say this Eastern
Yeah.
North, bunch of good players. I mean, there's good players in each one of them, but it's good to see players who play at a high level get some kind of recognition in my book. So moving on, Western Central. You got Brink, Furadays, Big Freeze, Gumba, Obey the Sandman, West 20 VT, Aegis Squad, Leet, Rixer, Who's Duke, Sieg, Defiance, T-Ball, Pit Pens Fan, Hit by the Best, Cholesterol Bomb, Maximus, Rick Stoneman, and Optimus Run, rounding out the Western Central. I was in the West Central last season, and let me tell you, that division hasn't changed much since I left it. Uh, Going over this list, great players. I know Brink. I play dropping games with him all the time. Me and him tear it up. I don't know Furadays, but how he's been playing this season has made me interested to see how this guy plays. I want to see what. Big Freeze. Kind of thinking that's a little bit of a popularity vote. Nothing against Big Freeze. Just saying. I'm sure there was someone on his team who's probably kicking a little more ass than he was. Anyways, Gumba, Obey, like I pretty much know everyone on this list. Who's Duke played with me last season? All good players, man. All good guys and gals. See, I didn't forget about you. Philly, what do you got to say about these Western Central All Stars?
Gumba and Furdays are absolute monsters, and I'm surprised they're just beasts. Vish is now on the Wild. He could probably be in this All-Star voting for the Western Central also. Vish is amazing.
Right.
It's a good group of guys. I mean, like you see, just like in ours, I mean, it's pretty much your top 4 teams, and they're represented hard throughout this. So,
All right. What about you, Pasta? What are you thinking about these Western and Central All Stars here?
I'm not surprised at all. Probably except for Big Freeze, Siege, and T-Ball. Like these guys are terrible. I don't know what are they doing here. Um, I hope they hear this show because, yeah, I'm really surprised.
Well, can't love everyone on the list, right?
get good, Big Freeze.
Get good, Big Freeze.
Get good, Siege.
Right. Yeah, I'm surprised they got that guy Troy on their roster. I played a highlight from him earlier in the season. He made a save when the goalie wasn't. Got to think a guy playing at that level. Also hit by the best. I know. Also on the. All right, we will move on to the Western Pacific. Last list on the list here. We got I'm Just a Squid, Pasta in My Nose, User Pick, Razor's Edge, Deer Hunter, Ryan, Tickle My Sackick, Matt Sab, J-Cat, Biggie Biggs, Mr. Zigglenuts himself, Matt Apollo Bastendi, I don't know how to say that, String King, Trash Clown, Dealmaker, and New O Kid from the Barracuda. I gotta say, this Pacific list, there's some obvious choices, a few people I'm familiar with, and then there's a few people I've never heard of before. Like, I never heard of that new OK kid from the Barracuda. String King, he was on my team last season. Good to see him out there having a good season. That's good to see. Not really familiar with this Mr. Zigglenuts guy or J-Cap or pretty much anyone from the Barracuda besides Edge and Squid. What do you think about this Western Pacific All-Star squad, Pasta? That you'll be playing for them.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. I'm really happy my boy Ryan and User Pick made it. Squid is not a surprise. Razor Edge either. Got a really good season. I'm happy for my boy Deer Hunter. Tickle My Sackick. I don't know this guy. I would like to see him play because he just came out of nowhere this season. and it's always fun to see new guys coming in and getting some recognition in this league. Um, I mean, there's JCap, my boy from Barracudas in season 2. I had the chance to play with him. He's a really good guy, good player. Leggy Legs, really good player too. Matt Numbers and Dealmaker, I'm happy for them. They made it. Trash Clown isn't a surprise. He saved us all season long in season 4, and I'm sure he's helping the goals a lot this season. The others, I don't really know them. I had the chance to play against Apollo last season. That's about it.
All right. Yeah, I figured. I figured some of these guys would be some of the guys. What do you feel about this Western Pacific?
I didn't see who the Western has playing in their game, but you get these top 3 forwards. Just hand them the trophy. They beat the East. I mean, unreal. But I mean,
Well, I'm about to show who made the team in a minute.
is it Biggie Biggs or Leggy Legs? I heard you call him Leggy Legs. He plays on your team. I thought it was Biggie Biggs for the longest time.
No, it's Leggy Legs. It's just that the thing is the number 1 instead of the L on the second segment of his name, it couldn't work with an L because it was taken already. So he put a 1 as in like a non-capital letter, a non-capital L.
I'm surprised that
So
name was
that
taken.
Yeah. So am I. It's hell to invite him when he's appearing offline.
Nice. All
So
right.
yeah, it's Leggy Legs.
But yeah, did you have anything else you wanted to say on that, Philly? Or
No, this team. I mean, I really don't see anybody on this list that doesn't deserve it, except for maybe one guy. But I'm not going to be the elephant on the wall and name that one player. So, congratulations to everybody that made it on that team.
yeah, congratulations to everyone who's getting All-Star nod. It's not easy to play good all the time, and it's even harder to get acknowledgement from your peers. Saying that. Congratulations. Now, just released a little. What is it? Was it today they released this? Yeah, today, 12:30.
Yeah, it was today.
Here's who will actually be playing in the game. As you can see, Bob, Swagger, and Loops have selected a team. And quickly, I'll read off who will be playing in the Eastern Conference. You have Hazy Eyes, Lobo Dangles at center, Jack Duke playing right wing, Phillies MVP. Shout out, he's getting the starting nod. Left D, right D, Barakov. He's going to have a pretty beastly right D, and Tyler Loki will be taking the net for us on the Eastern side. Woo, go East! Now for the loser lineup, the Western Conference, we have Furadays, buddy. I'm just the squid. Some nobody, pasta my nose, never heard of this guy. Playing right wing. Defiance, lefty, Leggy Legs, as we've just learned from Pasta, playing right D, and Trash Clown, starting 10D, Western Conference. Any thoughts on those lineups there, Philly?
Yeah, Loops, way to pick a bunch of Stockton Heat and the Stockton Alumni on that team. Good job, buddy.
I kind of was thinking the same thing too. I was hoping somebody else would say it besides me.
Yeah, I was happy to see the Eastern. What they did is they broke it down. Bobby didn't pick anybody from the same team.
No, he sure didn't.
Fuck
you, Bobby. No, just kidding. love Bob.
But it's going to be a hell of a game. I can't wait to play it. It's going to be probably a high-scoring game, too. If it's like anything like last year's All-Star, there's not going to be much defense played in the game. So it should be fun.
Yeah, well, you're representing me out there, Philly, so you better give them hell. I know you got some pretty good players. I never played with Tyler Loki, though, but I've watched some of his videos, and he's pretty good goal. Should have a shot at his name. Pasta. Any words here on these?
I'm really excited. I never had the chance to play against Lobo Dangles since last season. I never played against him, so I can't wait for this to happen.